everybody, this is Tracy here with a view from Tracy's Point and giving you guys another update on the Jussie Smollett case.
Well, the information's still coming out. I'm going to withhold until all the information actually comes out from on-the-record sources. We know in America that bigoted and biased attacks are on the rise in a serious way. And we actually even know in this country that since 9/11, the majority of the terrorist attacks on our soil have been right-wing terrorist attacks. The majority of them white supremacist attacks, from the horrific shootings in Pittsburgh or in South Carolina church. What we're seeing is attacks on people because they're different, and we all need to join together and condemn those attacks and the hatred and the bigotry that sources them.
This saga is turning out to be better than a season of Empire itself. It is going to be so interesting to see how all of this plays out. But anyway, you guys remember my last video, I talked about the fact that two Nigerian brothers had been arrested, that they were identified as the two people that were seen in the surveillance footage walking away from the scene of the alleged attack. Well, since that video, and I actually put some updates on the actual video itself, but for those of you who haven't seen it yet, the guys were released. First, the police came out and said that they were charging them with battery or assault and possibly a hate crime. But then they turned around the next day and released them without charging them because they said that they were cooperative and had given them additional information that was going to be significant with their investigation. Now, we already know that the police probably have a whole bunch of information, and at this point, they are just messing with Jussie Smollett to get him to implicate himself or trip himself up, and then they're going to come at him with full force. I think that they're now looking at the letters that were mailed in that the FBI is handling, and possibly we may hear something coming up on the fact that they think Jussie mailed those letters to himself or either had these Nigerians to mail the letters to him. But the guys basically have told the police that Jussie hired them for the attack, that they actually practiced the attack in advance. And then just let me read you this article coming in from Chicago CBS. It says, Jussie Smollett paid two brothers to stage an attack against him, directed them to buy items used in the alleged assault, and actually rehearsed it with them. Sources say at least one of the brothers bought the rope used in the incident at Smollett's request. The sources also say the Empire actor paid for the rope, which was purchased at the Crafty Beaver hardware store in Ravenswood neighborhood the weekend of January 25th. Now, on CNN, they are reporting that these sources are two people that work for the Chicago Police Department, and they actually are close to the investigation. So we know that they are purposely leaking this information out to the public to kind of like, I guess, scare Jussie. And then also, after the two guys were released, this lawyer, this high-powered defense lawyer who's actually representing Michael Cohen, who was Donald Trump's lawyer, and his name is Michael Monaco, and he's supposed to be really good, but he said in an interview with a radio station on Friday that he has now taken up Jussie Smollett as a client, so maybe they're anticipating that charges will be filed against him. But back to the CBS local article, it says that the brothers who were questioned by police this week before being released were paid $3,500 before leaving for Nigeria and were promised an additional $500 upon their return. They left for Nigeria later in the day on January 29th after the attack, because remember the attack happened like 2 o'clock in the morning. of January 29th. Sources said one of the brothers held the rope and poured bleach while the other wore a plain red hat and yelled slurs at Smollett. The sources say the red hat was bought at an uptown beauty supply store and that the attack was supposed to happen before January 29th. The brothers told detectives the three men rehearsed the attack days prior to it happening. Smollett claims two men attacked him in Streeterville early January 29th as he was heading to his apartment. He said they yelled racial and homophobic slurs at him, poured a chemical on him, and put a rope around his neck. The brothers are now cooperating with police. Since being released Friday night, the brothers have been staying in an undisclosed location. Chicago police spokesman, the Anthony guy whose last name I can't pronounce, is quoted as saying, "We can confirm that the information received from the individuals questioned by police earlier in the Empire case has in fact shifted the trajectory of the investigation. We've reached out to the Empire cast members' attorney to request a follow-up interview." Police raided the brothers' home on Wednesday, which I talk about in my previous video, and basically met them at O'Hare International Airport as they were making their return from Nigeria. And so CBS 2's Brad Edwards reported Thursday that a source with intimate knowledge of the investigation said investigators believe that Jussie Smollett potentially staged the attack. And then Jussie came out, well, his lawyers, I guess his original lawyers, Todd S. Pugh and Victor P. Henderson, released a statement Saturday about the latest allegations. And it says, as a victim of a hate crime who has cooperated with the police investigation, Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are individuals he is familiar with. He has now been further victimized by claims attributed to by these alleged perpetrators that Jussie played a role in his own attack. Nothing is further from the truth, and anyone claiming otherwise is lying. One of these purported suspects was Jussie's personal trainer, who he hired to ready him physically for a music video. It is impossible to believe that this person could have played a role in the crime against Jussie or claim or would falsely claim Jussie's complicity. So looks like Jussie is gonna ride this thing out. I don't know what type of defense he can possibly come up with that would justify, these guys telling lies, or that would make police believe he wasn't a part of it. Because and then another thing that came out was the phone records. Remember, Jussie presented the police with redacted records where he had crossed out all this information and only left visible the phone calls to his agent or manager that he claims that he was talking with during the time. Well, the police got the phone records of the brothers, and they were able to see that Jussie was actually talking to them on the phone, or had some type of communication, maybe text messages or a phone call with them prior to the attack. And I'm sure that they're probably also able to find phone records, where they were having like ongoing conversations leading up to this. And then the guys say that they practiced the attack. So I'm sure that they told police where they practiced the attack. And police are going to be able to line up the times and dates and just show that they are more credible than Jussie is. So I mean, like I said, this is really turning out to be like a reality TV show within itself. And so I am just looking forward to seeing how this whole thing is resolved. And there are people, that still believe Jussie is telling the truth and are actually becoming angry and outraged, when people say that they don't believe him. And I'm just thinking, like, what kind of faith do you have to have in a person to believe that after all this information has come out that they're still telling the truth? But anyway, just wanted to give you guys this quick update. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, whether you believe the resolution or the outcome is going to be. Do you believe Jussie or do you believe the Nigerian brothers? Leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I hope everyone has a wonderful and blessed week. Bye-bye.